Hey y'all. So yes, I'm going to show you the huge mess that's going on downstairs, but it is finally coming together. Probably you'll have a hard time seeing it, but let me show you a few things that have happened since I brought you down here last. So back here is where this canning shelf used to reside, all the way back against this wall. And so day before yesterday, Hugh helped me move it over here, and that was a really, believe it or not, and of course nothing was on the canning shelf, but that thing is just extraordinarily heavy. So he used the car jack and lifted it up, and we moved it just a little at a time, trying to keep it from turning over. And we finally got it to the other side of that post. Now the plan is this entire area from the corner of this canning shelf all the way back to that wall, to that block wall, is going to be the grow room. And so yes, there will be a wall built right here behind the canning shelf, and then all the way to that wall with just a door going into the grow room somewhere along right here, or wherever. It's going in somewhere. So you can see, I mean, there's so much stuff down here, and I'll take the blame for part of it, but a whole lot of it, believe it or not, is still things that well, not a whole lot of it, some of it are still things that had belonged to my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law. You all that have been watching my channel for the last couple of years, you know that we had lived in Canton 20 years prior to moving back over here in 2018. Hugh grew up in this old house. This was built in 1903, and this basement down here, interestingly enough, was actually just dirt. And Hugh's daddy dug this basement out. This basement is hand dug. And you can see over here, the wall just goes up to right along, I don't know, about my eyeballs. So it's about 5 foot, 5'2", and then back in there's just crawl space. But yeah, that was a really huge job for someone to have done about 50 years ago. So all of this stuff down here, a lot of it is directly related to the farm, to what Chelsea and I are doing now. Our grow lights, we have these I had on the front porch. So I have 2 baskets, or 2 containers of grow lights that will be going into these grow shelves when we get them built. And then these plastic bags, these green bags, have our fabric, that white fabric right there. And then all of this stuff right here, all of these trays, all of this growing paraphernalia, all of that will be going over here on the shelves that I built underneath the stairs this week. So everything right there underneath and yeah, there's so much stuff. All this stuff will have a home within the next couple of weeks. A lot of it will be going to the trash, honestly, but a lot of it is just things that need to be sorted and put away. But I built all those little shelves over there under the stairs. That trash can right there has my soil block stuff in it, but the only thing that will be going underneath of the stairs will be anything that has to do with seed starting. All of our seed starting supplies, our trays, our little plastic cells, our sifters, our soil blockers, everything like that. Just that one spot that's designated just for those items. And then that freezer, that old freezer right there, that one's going to be converted. It's empty, and it's going to be converted into a germination chamber. So I'm very excited about that. And Chelsea's peppers, let me show you these. She dug them up and brought them inside because they're still producing so nicely. These must be a long grow pepper, but you see them right there? These are Scotch bonnets. That's what they are. And there's still lots of them growing down in here and ripening. So when they finish, this one over here almost died. We had a kerfuffle with it. We dropped it, but it's came back to life. It's all right. But when these finish ripening, the fruit that's on them, we're going to take them out of there and clean the roots up and put them in just enough medium to hold them through the winter, trim them back, and then she'll set them out again this spring. And so they'll start off much quicker. They should be producing, you know, a month or two earlier than these guys were. So anyway, yeah. But you can see 99% of everything that's in this corner right here has to do with growing cut flowers. And unfortunately, we just haven't had anywhere to put things, but now we will. So right here is where, from this little, and let me show you this guy. This belonged to my daddy. This old drawer, this tool drawer, that's what we called it when I was growing up. It's just, right now it's empty, and I don't know what I'll use it for, but I just could not get rid of it because my daddy always kept tools in that drawer in his tool room. So I will use it for something. But from that spot all the way down to the hot water heater, this will be filled with shelving. The shelving will be about 2 feet deep. I have the metal shelves, and I'll just be putting them together. If any of you remember what the shelves outside looked like that I used as my hardening off tables, that's the type of shelving I'm using. I had thought about building them out of wood, but wood kind of concerns me because as wet, the ones on the front porch, you know, they were always damp where I would water the little soil blocks, and then they would wet the shelves, and there was really not a good way to clean them. I mean, I could have taken everything off and just sprayed them with bleach water every now and then, but I'd rather just have the metal shelves, and that way I don't have to worry about bacteria. But the top shelf will only come to the top of that wall, and the top shelf will have all of the heat mats on it. And then there'll be 2 more shelves, one almost down at the floor and one about halfway up. So there'll be, you know, a good space for, and there actually may be 3. I've got to measure everything and make that determination. But there will be lots and lots of room to grow on shelves at that distance. I'm thinking that's probably about, I don't know, 20 some feet. But anyway, I had hoped to have a wider floor space right here between this wall, because I was planning on doing shelves on both sides, and I still may, but I think it's only going to give us like a 3-foot walking space in between, and that will work. I don't know why I resist that, but I like to have plenty of space to move around. But 3 foot will be plenty. And anyway, yeah, just I started not to bring you all down here because I thought I really don't want them to see this mess. It is so disgusting. But it's not junk. Most of it really is not junk. It's just things that need to be put away permanently. And see, these boxes right here, that's my Christmas stuff. 2 boxes are my Christmas stuff. And I don't remember when those things got brought down here, but they're down here. This clothes basket right here is full of boxes of sandpaper, And yeah, there's just, and I know that these two boxes right here have been down here since we moved over here in 2021, when Hugh's sister and Hugh and I traded houses. Basically, we traded spaces, but those are boxes of books, and those are boxes of books that I really just need to take to the Goodwill or the Habitat store. And that's probably what's going to happen to a lot of this stuff. As soon as I get everything put away, what's left, I don't know, unless it really tugs on my heartstrings to keep it, it's just going to go away somewhere that I don't have to ever think about it again. And yeah, if it's not usable, I'm finished with it. But anyway, so now you see the mess. Hopefully in about 2 weeks I can show you the finished product, including the wall being built and everything being put away. And yay, hot dog. Oh, and one more freezer, this old freezer right here. So this one is going to be a dehydrator. We were going to take it just, you know, to the dump, because both of these old freezers, that one's our new one. We bought that one about 2 years ago. But this old freezer and then that old freezer both had belonged to Hugh's mother. This is a chest style freezer, but Hugh stood up on its end. We just figured it would be easier to deal with. But we've been watching some videos on how to turn it into a food dehydrator. And it's not a huge chest freezer, but it will hold a whole lot of food. We just got to build the racks and put in a little fan system and some little lights for heat. And yeah, lots and lots and lots and lots. And there's Hubie. Say hi, Hubie.
Hello, everybody.
He put in all this ductwork over the last couple of weeks.
I got to dry my boots.
Yeah, and we are heating exclusively now with this furnace that we bought a couple of years ago, and it's heating all the space in this big old house. How many square feet do you think is upstairs? Oops, careful. His knee's giving him problems. I said, how many square feet do you think is upstairs? Floor space.
Well, upstairs is 2,700 plus the basement, so I don't know.
So about 2,700 square feet of floor space upstairs. And the way that he has all of the ductwork running, and he has fans in the ductwork, and it's really actually pretty quiet. You can hear it, but it's not loud. So
we'll find out how good it works next week. It's supposed to be down in the low 20s.
Yeah, so he's waiting to see when it's cold, and it's cold for several days straight. You know, we have the wood stoves upstairs. We have
the cabinets, you can touch it anytime you want to.
Yeah, well, that's good. Just don't melt your boots.
They should dry right there.
But in the living room right above us, there's a wood stove, and then in the little den that Hugh and I stay in with the doggies, there's a wood stove. But
they're
having
just a mess. They're messy.
Yeah, but having all the wood contained downstairs, it really is nice. It's just lovely not having to put wood in 2 stoves upstairs. And of course, if it gets really cold, we can always supplement with that heat upstairs. But you know, guys, having 5 doggies upstairs, the amount of dust I have from them and the amount of dog hair that I have from them is just pretty much overwhelming. So it's nice not having the dust from the ashes as well. Look how steep those stairs are. They're kind of touch and go. I don't like climbing them, but I do. Oh, and I wanted to mention one more thing. So we didn't do hardly any canning at all this year. The gardens, with what we were doing here with the cut flowers, the gardens got away from us. So, and then the beans, I can't remember. Hugh was pretty much on his own with the garden, And we canned some tomato juice, and they're upstairs. The tomato juice cans are upstairs. But really, we didn't get a lot of anything done as far as canning. Next year will be a better garden year, and hopefully a lot of these jars will actually be filled with something. But Chelsea and I were down in the barn today looking for a box that I have some craft items in that we wanted to use for our craft fair coming up called Kringle in a couple of weeks. And see, I've got a tall canner right there. I need to put this one in the bag. And there's a regular size canner. And upstairs in the dining room, I have 2 canners. And when we were down in the barn today, the things that we had brought over here when we moved from Canton, most of our things went into the barn. And lo and behold, I've got another tall canner down in the barn. So I've got 5 canners. And honestly, nobody really needs 5 canners. So I think that I'm going to find an organization that has been helping people to recover from the flood, and find out who we have that can, that's part of their life, that's part of what they do, and they no longer have their canners, because they're expensive, y'all. I don't know if any of y'all have ever priced canners, but they're upwards of $100 each, if I remember correctly. I won't swear to that, but... And then I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of jars as well. I've got enough boxes of empty jars to completely, totally fill this canning shelf. And Hugh and I, even, when we pass along jars to Chelsea and Aaron, we don't need that much canned food. So hopefully we can find people to bless with those items and pass them along to someone that's what they do. I really don't want to pass it along to some young person that thinks, oh, well, that sounds like fun, I think I'll do that. No, I want to pass it along to someone that says, I've canned for the last 10 years or the last 20 years or whatever, and all my canning supplies are now gone, and give this stuff to someone that I know will use it. But anyway, all right, one more look at the mess, and y'all wish me luck. This is just extraordinarily exhausting down here. Every time I come down here, it takes me a day or two to recover because of just the dust, and I do have a dust allergy, but it makes me also happy to see the amount of work that gets accomplished. And now that we actually have the place for the grow room to be, and of course behind that wall right there that's the cool room that Hugh built for me within the last couple of months, and it has a door that will be going in this space, and the wall still has to be closed up, and the insulation has to be put in, and the light switch is on the other side by the other door, so I won't go in there to do that. But if you can see, it's just we've got to close in around this air conditioner permanently, and we will be buying a CoolBot, which will actually cool this area down to about as low as 34 degrees if we want it that cold. And this is a sample, of the kind of shelving I was talking about. It's just metal shelving. But yeah, when we start growing tulips and peonies and things like that, we'll really need this room to be cold, and that will be the purpose of the CoolBot. But other than that, there's just a few of our springtime flowers and even our summer flowers that will benefit and survive a little better in a cooler environment. Not all of them. Some flowers do not do well in a cool environment, and they need a warmer space, so they'll stay out here. But yeah, I know it's really hard to visualize what's going on with all this clutter and all this mess. So I'll just show you again what's happening as we get closer to having everything done. And y'all, like I said before, just wish me luck. It is coming along. I know that's hard to believe and hard to even visualize, but it is. All right. I hope that your day is lovely. I'm going to go upstairs and take my shower and get ready for bed. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.